Hello there, toy collectors. My name is Kevin, aka Toyingaround, and I am very excited to bring you this special review.
If anything, the Kim family, they're archetypes.
Which is sad, but not always a bad thing.
I'm okay. I have one. Do you see all the name?
Let's try them. Let's still try. We want to...
What's up, lounge lizards? Welcome to another episode of
Trevor? What's up, everyone? Welcome to the channel.
Kevin, it's Monday.
Yeah, I'm doing a stream. I'm doing a stream about.
You're on Thursday. We're on Mondays.
No. I'm doing a stream tonight about Monkey King. About this figure.
You're doing a stream about a Four Horsemen figure on Legion's Lounge night.
Oh
That's what
shoot!
you're telling me,
Dude.
Oh my God,
That's what you're saying?
Nate, am I?
Who's your guest? I mean, like, what do you like?
I mean, you know, one of the original. It's Eric. We posted this? Should we just combine the show? Is
You
that
mean
cool?
Eric Treadaway? You're gonna bring a Four Horsemen on the night that I do my Legion's Lounge show. Is that what you're saying to me? Is that what you're saying?
I
All right. Let's.
Forgot
All right,
you own
hey,
Mondays.
I love you, Kev. I love your show. let's just bring this all together. We'll do it all live. We'll do it live.
Do you mean we're going to actually cross streams?
We're gonna cross the streams?
Do we have the
Cross the
technology? Is it
Yes,
safe?
we do. I don't
We
think
do
it's
have the
safe.
technology.
It's probably not safe. It's probably not safe for either one of us.
Well, let's just bring it together. We'll call it lounging around. Let's do it.
Lounging around.
Is that fair?
It's pretty much what we do every week.
All right.
Perfect. There you go.
Well,
Sounds good.
thanks for everyone tuning in to the channel. If you found your way here through Trevor's channel, welcome. I do a show called Unboxing Thursday every week where I sit down with some friends and open some toys. Sometimes I just want to talk about really cool figures. I opened this a few weeks ago. The Monkey King. It's absolutely phenomenal. I have my logo over there. You can see that's my logo for the channel. So I really enjoyed this figure. If you're here normally subscribe to the channel and you're not following OneSix Shooter on YouTube, please go subscribe right now. Let's share the love, spread the subs. It costs you nothing, but let's help out other people in the community. Trevor, what's going on your channel that people should know about?
We have Legion's Lounge every other Monday, like this Monday. If it was next Monday, we wouldn't be on, and it would be an open slot for anybody who wanted to do a show on Monday. All you got to do is just check. But no, we do the Legion's Lounge every other Monday, 1/6 pack every other Friday. And, I've got I've been doing some news and stuff during the day, and I've got a bunch of toy photography tutorials. I'm actually going to put one up of the shot I just recently did. So if you're interested in toy photography, learning toy photography, I think there's some pretty good tutorials up there. People have said that they're mildly helpful.
Very
mildly helpful. Yeah.
Definitely enabled me for this. And of course,
Yeah.
Nate, we've chatted briefly through Instagram, but this, it's great to meet you and have you on your own channel on my channel.
Right on. Likewise. And I was going to say, anybody who happens to be here because they're used to this being a Legion's Lounge show and they're not following Toyingaround, make sure you go and do that.
Oh, thank you.
Hell yes. It's a great
Thank
show.
you so
Every
much.
week it's
Excellent.
great.
Yeah. Super fun.
Yep. A lot
It
of fun.
sounds
Always fun.
sounds
It's
very
fun in the
forced.
chat. It's fun in the chat. It's fun to
Yeah,
watch.
it's a great crowd. Yeah.
Sometimes they're 2 hours. Sometimes they're 5 or 6 hours. They're,
It's a
they're
marathon.
it's only when the enablers are on. It's really only
Mhm.
the enablers thing. But those are always fun anyway. So you sit there and you watch it for 5 or 6 hours too. I mean,
Yeah.
it's engaging. It is an engaging show, and you're a great host.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Except when I
fantastic, man.
double book other people's shows. But hey, let's not
You're not a
dwell
good
on
booker.
that.
You're not a good
Let's
booker.
not-
You're a good host, but you're a good
Yeah.
host.
That's why they're different roles. But
right.
yes, if you happen to enjoy the show tonight, please feel free to subscribe. Also, subscribe to Legion's Lounge for people who follow my channel and don't get enough talk about Four Horsemen and Mythic Legions and things like that. Go check out.
Never on this channel.
Okay, I know you tried.
I tried to push
please
it, but
please go follow OneSix Shooter. Next week I'll be headed to San Diego Comic-Con, so make sure you're subscribed. Here on Instagram, I'll have live streams from the show. I'm going to be recording things for a vlog and special content, so it's going to be fun out there, hopefully. And you know, I'm excited for what comes from this trip. Before I bring on the guests, I have 2 super chats. That's very generous of everybody. Thank you so much. We have one from Kevin M. Boots 77. Thank you. Did that sound play? It didn't play.
Kevin's a regular, good dude.
$2 for no reason other than why not. That's a fantastic reason. I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you have a great Monday night. And of course, also, Boy Called Malice. Damn, $10. Thank you. That's crazy. Thank you so much. Says, good evening, everyone. Work has been crazy hectic, and it feels like an eternity since I last tuned into a live Legions Lounge show.
I hate to break your heart, Kevin, but I think that's my super chat, but that's okay.
Come get it at San Diego.
Are they color coded? Yeah, how do we tell here?
No, I can see it. I've got my feed going on. But Tom Whalen,
that's
our
your
friend Tom
chat.
Whalen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, did you see Tom Whalen up there?
Oh, these are all yours. Yeah, Tom's here. Yes.
Tom's
awesome.
like, what show am I watching?
It's the multiverse. All right. I don't want to leave our guests waiting any longer.
That's true.
This is somebody who from Four Horsemen. Somebody who I want to chat with because, as I mentioned, I don't do a lot of Four Horsemen stuff on the channel, but I'm looking forward to asking some questions. So everyone in the chat, feel free to throw some up there. It's Mr. Eric Treadaway. Eric, welcome.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing?
Great.
Founding member.
That's awesome.
Eric?
Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
Yeah, like I was saying to people, I love what Four Horsemen is about, like the Mythic line, because I know they're so detailed, they're so beautifully painted. The price point is very appealing. Trevor has tried to enable me several times to get into it, but due to certain limitations, there aren't that many lines that I could, I kind of have to narrow it down. But when this came out, I absolutely fell in love with it. The figure itself. But before we get to that, can we take a few minutes to talk about your history, your work with toys? A few highlights, if you have, please.
Wow.
Yeah, this is gonna be one of those 5-hour streams, apparently.
It all started when I was a boy.
I'll try to boil it down to something a little more brief.
Yeah, all of your accomplishments in 30 seconds.
And go.
I started off at McFarlane Toys, which was that was in 1994, and just was an incredible time to get into the toy industry, and an incredible place to enter the industry. Just because action figures had been done a certain way for a long time, and Todd wasn't part of the toy world, and he came in and like opened up the door to just like all he wanted was cool figures, and then that just we had a studio full of people who wanted to do exactly that, and that approach and what that company was able to do really changed the face of action figure collecting, modern action figures, and it was it was such a cool thing to be a part of. And so it was an amazing thing to be able to come into the industry and start off at such a high level of creativity, where it was it was allowed and fostered, and so I was there for about 5 years, and certainly was able to work on some great properties and great characters, and then there's a point where just I think creators kind of want to venture out and start doing their own thing, and a group of us left McFarlane and approached Mattel, and we left and started our own studio, and again was just very much a right place, right time sort of move. Right as we approached them, they were looking to bring back Masters of the Universe. Oh, wow. And Masters of the Universe was, but like for me, that as a kid, that was the thing. Like that was when I loved Star Wars, I loved Transformers, G.I. Joe, all of those, but Masters was the one that like really scratched the itch. I loved the fantasy genre, monsters, skeletons, giant skull face castles. Like it just like there was a little bit of everything, and it was just again, as far as creativity goes, I think that just was such an inspiration as a kid. And just, I don't know, like it just kind of like opened up my mind to, what creating a world could be like. And then so, flash forward, we go to Mattel, and then that's the first thing they put us on.
Amazing.
And then that was just the first time, we got to work on Masters Universe for close to 20 years in various, various form factors and incarnations. And, of course, along the way, while we're working on things like that, we also, we're able to knock out an entire DC Universe line and, get into Thundercats and, some other little, lines that we worked on for lesser amounts of time. But, we had a great run at Mattel. And again, like for a corporate, like a big corporation like Mattel, like had a surprising amount of creative freedom and really kind of like a lot of say in the direction of the lines that we were working on. But, as we were doing that, like, of course, like the ultimate, as a creator, as you evolve and have more time behind you in the industry, your goal really becomes, you want to do your own thing, like your own creative endeavor that you're doing from start to finish. Mm-hmm. And, so we started like periodically doing our own releases. So, we did a line called Seventh Kingdom that we got a few figures into, and Gothatropolis, which we got a few releases into that were moderately successful, successful enough that we could get to the next one. But certainly it was still a side venture at that point, and more about just kind of, just getting some creative release, I guess. But after doing a few lines like that and, learning from our mistakes and successes, we, introduced Mythic Legions, and that was really where all of the elements and the knowledge that we had acquired over the years, we kind of put it all together into the right mix, to where it allowed us to do many of the figures that we wanted to do, but it was economical in a way where the line could continue to release, and parts, right combination of parts reuse and individualized sculpting for characters. Of course, so I mean, Mythic Legions has now really become the core of Four Horsemen Studios, and kind of the foundation of what we've been doing for several years now. Mm-hmm. And that's now finally it's getting into people's hands that allowed us to create Cosmic Legions.
Oh yeah, congrats on Cosmic. I know a friend of mine has a whole bunch that he received. Congrats on that. That's
Thank
crazy.
You. Thank you very much.
They look
so
awesome.
that's cool because, you know, to me, like the kind of like the two pillars of action figures. If you got the fantasy world and you've got the sci-fi world, like, you know, at least for my favorites, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same.
And then, of course, then, you know, to what we're primarily going to talk about here tonight, then Cosmic. Then, you know, we got that one going, and then, you know, what started off as just kind of like a holiday release figure with the Krampus is now turned into more of a, you know, a fully fleshed out line, which is Figura Obscura, which of course, you know, brings us to the Monkey King, which is a great, you know, that Figura Obscura. It's fun because Mythic Legions and Cosmic Legions both, you know, are completely, you know, created in-house, and you know, it's RIP, where it's fun to, with the Figura stuff, then to kind of go pull back a little bit and, you know, get into beloved characters that, you know, have been around for some of them, with, you know, for ages, and certainly, you know, ingrained enough into like popular culture, and a culture where, you know, they have a built-in fan base and familiarity.
Did that idea come first? That you just, I mean, I know a lot of it is you want to just do something, you know, break away, do something completely different out of the genre that you've been working in. And this is even before Cosmic a little bit. I mean, you've been working on Cosmic, but was it a matter of like, I wanted to do a certain characters or certain themes, or you just wanted to break out and try something different, and like maybe it's a one-off, maybe it becomes something bigger? I have a feeling I know which one it is, but I don't know, like from your standpoint, what was it?
You know, it really was like it all started with the idea of doing a holiday release.
Okay.
Back when we did, when we were doing Outer Spacemen, we would do a holiday release every year. And back then it was just like, oh, you know, they were released in like red and green and had like chrome, like, you know, shiny, like, you know, kind of holiday
Christmas balls.
bling.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Which, you know, it was just, I don't know, it's just cool at the holidays to do something, you know, unexpected.
I like holiday variants. They're cool.
Yeah, so yeah, they're fun, and we hadn't done something like that in a long time, and so just there's a lot of just, you know, kind of discussions around the office where just sitting around, just shooting the breeze, and somehow it circled around that again, and then you know, Krampus came up because you know, now it's like, how it's got to be something that fits with the structure of Legions, and it's compatible, and you know, Krampus was one where it was just like, you know, that's
perfect fit. Yeah,
perfect. And then of course there's at one point where like, how could we ever top this, because it was just like, you know, the stars aligned, of this, just the right character, the right time, and all this. And then we quickly decided to do Headless Horseman, which again was still holiday themed,
right?
And we did those two almost. Those were done at the same time, but at a certain point realized that like this can go beyond just the holiday thing, and then that kind of going back to what you were saying. Then or asking is like, then it's like, well, you know, there's certain characters that, you know, people have been fascinated with for years, or thought would be an incredible figure, or you know, just hadn't seen done or whatever. And then like characters like the Monkey King, Sun Wukong, like that, you know, for me that was what I wanted to do for a long time.
Really?
Like working
Nice.
for McFarlane, like, you know, you had Bathory and all that weird stuff that he was like nobody had an action figure, you know, of that kind of stuff before. So that's you know, that's interesting. Yeah.
Speaking of the history again, real quick, you did an awesome job, you know, succinctly summing up your career up to this point. But this is a recent addition to the sourcehorseman.com, the Four Horsemen website, is you guys have put out that staggering list of everything you guys have touched and worked on. So if anyone wants to dive into that, like I said, it's incredible. So I just wanted to add that to the
yeah, that's a big shout out to CB for that. He put a lot of work into that, and you know, that it was a good read for you know, for Jim and I too, because
like, oh yeah,
you know, we've been doing this for so long, yeah, and it's like, oh my god, I completely forgot that we did this. and that happened many times looking at that list.
Cool.
Because you know, there's obviously like a lot of the ones I mentioned, like, you know, Masters Universe Classics, yeah, we're gonna remember that, but every once in a while there's like something that was just kind of a quick single figure project, or you know, a mini line or something like that, yeah, you just
look at this list.
Just kind of goes in one ear and out the other.
Spawn, every Spawn wave, Spawn, Total Chaos, Monsters.
I mean, look where that elevator is up top. You're not even a quarter of the way down yet.
Kiss Second Surface.
Funny that you mentioned that Headless Horseman, because then at some point, yeah, it kind of struck me. Yeah, that's actually the second Headless Horseman. That
yeah.
It's funny.
It's a great
I have two of that box set.
That was really great.
Oh, nice.
I bought that before you guys had horses, just for the horse. Actually,
I did. I bought two for the horses.
Yeah,
yeah.
The Horseman kind of fell apart, but yeah, look at those. It's Masters of the Universe, 200X.
I guess I should have allotted more than 30 seconds for all these photos.
Look at this.
It's insane, man.
And it just keeps going. It keeps going.
Look, you're only a third. Look at the.
It keeps going. It keeps going. It keeps going. It keeps going.
Now you're halfway.
It's insane. It's just like yeah. I mean, I'm scrolling quickly now. You can't even read these things, and it's just
whoever hasn't
Sideshow, like Bosk. I own this figure. I have this figure. I have that. It's incredible. When I found out that you guys did that,
definitely encourage anyone to go check this out. You know.
Yeah.
It is interesting to look at, because I think, you know, we're known for certain things, but there's a lot of things that we've quietly done over the years. I think at the time, like we did the Sideshow stuff, I don't even think that was publicly. I don't even know if it was out there. We were working on it.
The Super 7 section.
Yeah, that's why you mentioned Super 7. Super 7. Yeah. I mean, that's a big chunk as well. A lot of great projects there.
Yep.
So Eric, is that a commonplace thing? Like a company like Hasbro, they bring in third-party studios or single designers and sculptors, as opposed to having in-house people as well.
Quite a bit. I mean, generally, you know, a lot of companies have a certain like core group that you know, there's probably like a sculpting director. And you know, maybe a sculptor or two on staff, but you know, the especially the larger companies, the amount of pieces that they do, they inevitably have to hire out. And you know, we've always had like, you know, substantial, not huge studio, but a substantial enough where we could offer, you know, we could offer start to finish prototyping. You know, back in, you know, pre-digital, we, you know, full molding and casting facilities. We had painters in-house. You know, we designed, you know, we could do graphic design. We had packaging people that could come in and do, you know, graphic work and things like that. And, you know, I think that's why we were able to do work on so many comprehensive lines. Like, you know, if a lot of people, you know, if you're a single, you know, sculptor, painter, what have you, that are, you know, and that's your, you know, your one-man operation. I think that the projects come more piecemeal, but just because you just don't have the bandwidth to just pump out full wave after wave of figure.
Yeah, being a one-stop shop for anybody is just such a nice thing, especially when it's quality, and it's quality. You don't have to bring that team together from disparate areas, and they're all
just more value. It's more value, more appealing to a company. That's awesome.
And I mean, back in, but again, pre-digital, digital has this digital sculpting has kind of like, even, I don't know if I want to say like even the playing field a little bit. I think or more so, I think like the low end of quality is so much higher than it was at a traditional level. But especially but back in the traditional days though, in like, Toy Biz is a great example. Back when they were doing Marvel Legends, it was just one of the, the see me was one of the great runs of toys in action figures, and they broke some serious ground there, and that was another spot where the world of action figures was changed by that Toy Biz run on Marvel Legends. And they had great people working on those figures, like Phil Ramirez, Dave Cortez, and like all these great people. But even if you look at that, like there was, people tended to have their individual styles, and so like if I could spot a Dave Cortez figure or one of Phil's figures, and in a way it was, kind of depends on your perspective. In a way that was kind of fun. It's almost like, your favorite comic book artist, you want to see their take on the figure.
Yep, absolutely.
But for some people, the lack of, they didn't like the lack of consistency. And so, I do think that, again, like a larger studio, for some clients, that was one of the appeals of having a studio where it's more self-contained.
Consistency.
And, the consistency was there.
Sure.
And it's, again, like I said, it kind of depends on the, the consumer of that at the end, like what your take on it is, because on the one hand, the inconsistency, it kind of has an excitement to it. And the unpredictability is cool. But if you want that total consistency, then, there's something there as well.
From a comic book standpoint, you want Jim Lee. Like it's fun to see other people do it, but we want, Jim Lee working on these comic books or whatever. But I love it. Like with Marvel Legends, I love seeing a Paul Harding sculpt, or like something like that. Just like you said, you can tell who's done it, and it's fun. It's like another comic book artist taking over your toys. It's amazing. It's very fun.
No, I follow Dave Cortez on Instagram. Like he's still doing a lot of really cool sculpting and things.
Oh yeah.
When I had him on the show, he was showing off like all these cool prototypes in his studio from before. It was a lot of fun.
Dave's one, like he started at McFarlane too. Like he was he was so young. I mean, I guess we all were at the time, but he came in young and was like, kind of learning on the job. Like he was more freelancing for McFarlane at the time, and that was, it didn't take him long to turn over and get into the Toy Biz cycle, and like, I mean, just kill it over there. But yeah, it's funny. So many roads travel backwards to McFarlane. At the time there's like McFarlane and Art Asylum. And that's where a lot of origins in the industry came from.
Interesting.
That's awesome. Let's get to the Figura Obscura line. Like you mentioned, you started with some holiday ideas, and then when it comes to Wukong, is this line going to be something like one-offs are going to land here in the future, like different ideas that you have for Figura Obscura? Like just select characters that you think of that you want to make?
Yeah, I mean, I think that'll that will continue to be the the formula for it. And it's not to say that the one-off part of it, that is one of the appeals for us of Figura, is that like, because I have to just like think.
I know you got to be careful.
Actually been shown and what's out.
Okay.
But
I can
like Monkey King, there's Journey to the West, like lots of cool characters, lots of great characters there.
Yeah,
like,
let's move to that.
You
people
could
were asking.
Yeah, I mean, you could conceively do an entire line there, right? Like,
I was gonna say,
like you could do.
I'm gonna save that for later.
Yeah, like, and it's not to say that we won't revisit the characters, but the beauty of it is, for us, is that we can pour everything into the Sun Wukong figure, and we can leave it, and that's we can be done with it if we want. Actually, I mean, I'll give you, because Journey to the West, it's so rich, and there's so many great characters there. It's got a deep bench. So I'll go back. Legend of Sleepy Hollow, Headless Horseman and the horse. Okay, that's fodder for a great figure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want a Brom Bones figure? Like, I mean,
Ichabod
unless
Crane.
you're like hardcore into it, it's it's cool. But how many characters can you name in the story? And so,
well, I was going to ask you, like, what do you even think? Like, were you worried about people like even buying into these figures? So, like, if you're talking about, like, all right, you've loved the Headless Horseman, do you want the Brom Bones Ichabod Crane 2 set like to go along with it? It's like, no, I'm good with the Horseman. Like, I don't need,
right.
Like, it's kind of nice that they're just one-offs.
Yeah.
But there are things like with Monkey King that I could totally see, and I know nothing. Don't read it anything, but like I could totally.
Not
see.
to mention, if you start fleshing out lines like that, or characters within a certain story, that takes away from all the other one-offs or special characters that you want to put out, right?
Yeah, because now
Yeah.
Santa needs elves and whatever.
Mrs. Claus or something.
That's right, Mrs. Claus.
So you mentioned, Eric, this was a character that you wanted to make for a while, because you're doing the holiday stuff, and then this is a huge jump kind of like to Eastern culture. This is Monkey King is like a Chinese folklore kind of fairy tale story. So it's just, was there like some hesitation to kind of like make that kind of switch, kind of change the themes around a bit, or we're just like, hey, this is going to work out great, and let's just go for it?
There was no hesitation at all. To me, that was one of the most exciting parts of it, is that we were going to, everybody's, it was, we were 3 in, so everybody was, used to a holiday release.
Right.
And the fun of this line is that, there's not a set schedule for it. There's no set subject matter. There's no, there's expectations, but there's also, it's not expectations like, you're going to get a 6-figure wave or whatever. So the idea of breaking the holiday cycle, that was just a lot of fun to us, because we like that we can do, we can surprise people with this. And and many people, I didn't know of Journey to the West and Sun Wukong until I was an adult, and even probably not even like early adulthood, and upon releasing this, many people don't know what this is. And so it's cool to be able to drop a figure that, if we can do our job and make this as compelling a figure as we possibly can, that people have no idea what this is, and then all of a sudden, they buy it, enjoy it, and then all of a sudden, then maybe they're going back and doing more research into the character. And
so a lot of people doing that on the Cabal, like getting the book, finding movies about it, stuff like that. Yeah.
If it's their way in.
Well,
sure.
Sun Wukong, the Monkey King, has inspired a lot of stories out there, like Dragon Ball, a lot of anime, different stories, things like that. So there's a huge kind of like range of what he looks like. Some people prefer like maybe a little bit more human face looking with monkey-like features, or like a full kind of monkey-like face. Was there a lot of different designs or looks before you settled onto this one? Was there a huge like a debate of kind of the different kind of looks and features? Is there anything you could share with us?
Yeah, sure. I mean, interestingly enough, I think I mentioned this somewhere else. Like, I started toying around with the idea of doing doing this character, and even sculpting. This was back in clay. I started sculpting the character.
That's so cool.
At least a decade ago. One of my first, I had seen the character around, but one of my first introductions to it was Terada's graphic novel from Dark Horse. That it's probably about 10 years old, maybe, or so, which was very like Simon Bisley-esque, like super brutal, very adult version of it. And so what I was doing at the time was like almost more of like a barbarian Monkey King. But over time, as I learned more about the character and looked more into it, like my ideas of what I wanted to see out of this changed. And so by the time I got to this, I wanted to adhere to the texts and be as historically accurate as possible, and within reason, stick as closely to the way he's described in the books. There were some things like in the books he's described as being in the book he's described as being bald, which I actually played with, and it's kind of hideous. So I put that. But I mean, he's not described as being a human like he is in a lot of the Chinese movies and stuff. He's described as being small. He's like kind of like described as being like an old man in some of the pictures, I think, hence the baldness. And he's a more diminutive character. And so I've seen so many versions where it is that more human version that you see in cinema and on stage and things like that. And so I wanted to pull it back and go into that actual monkey part of it. And, to the point where, looking up what he's like, he's a rhesus macaque, like it's a very specific monkey to the region, and, with the golden fur and the golden eyes. And then, all of his accessories are straight out of the text.
There's so much good stuff in here. In the accessories. I love all that stuff too, because like accessory wise, we always, we make weapons. That's action figures. It's axes and swords and weapons, but I really enjoy the accessories that are storytelling accessories. And so to add the gourd or the peach and the scrolls and stuff like that, like, I don't know, it's cool. I mean, and of course he's got his weapons, it's pretty crucial to the character and the story.
I think for those who know, they appreciate that so much, and for those who don't, it just adds another level of curiosity that again makes them want to dive into the story.
Exactly.
I love it. I'm like, oh, some people are like, yes, he's got the gourd, and I'm sure some people are like, what the hell's a gourd?
Why does he have it? What is
it? A bomb? What is that?
Like, what is this? Whatever. With the big peach butt right here. But this is part. This is classic imagery and a lot of Chinese stories like that. Peaches.
And not a peach like
Sorry,
that's a regional peach too. Like that's not even like like a peach we get
Right.
here.
Not an
This is
Alabama
like
peach.
America. That's right, exactly.
Like
It's Georgia
the
peach.
Georgia
he's
peach.
got the shoes. This I call these the
Cloud walkers, right? Or
the heaven
cloud walking.
the
Yeah, like
heavenly
the cloud
Jordans.
shredding boots.
Heavenly Jordans. There you go.
Yeah. It's
It's like
the amount of stuff there. I always love the face sculpt with the face paint as well.
me too. That's
It's
my
kind of
favorite, man.
like
I
the
love that.
reminds me of the Chinese opera style look.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen first of all the sculpting on everything, but particularly the armor, like
Yeah.
the fine detail on some of the stuff, especially when and Trevor and Nate, you guys are much better toy photographers. When you have something this small on camera, like the little details kind of really draw people in and kind
Totally.
of make it more realistic, right?
Absolutely.
If you
For sure.
versus like a very simple made toy, like just everything in here, and of course like washes to kind of bring that out.
Yeah.
This is crazy. Was it Eric, was it definitely said like we're gonna have lots of armor and this guy's gonna have this specific look? And I've seen other people take off the armor. I'm too scared to do that because I'll never get it back on. But I know Mythic Legions and everything is a very customizable and swappable, so people should definitely do that. But was the armored look like the definitive way to go for you?
Again, like I said, like early on, like the first time I was looking at this character, it was less of that and more exposed fur and stuff. But as I started looking at the descriptions and how it relates to the story, the armor, it's a part of the story, and so I to me it was important to include that. And again, like these projects, the Obscura projects are cool and really for everybody that works on it, because like this goes for Nate when he's on the packaging, like when Jeremy's writing stuff, Trevor, I'm sure when you're shooting it, like everybody like gets into it and it becomes like a bit of a research project. And like I know, at least speaking for myself, like I know like that's where a lot of what I get out of this project is like it's like going back and looking at like historically what type of armor is correct for the period, and like just like little details, like so that mail that's on the armor, it's a mountain pattern, it's called mountain armor, and it's like a mountain mail, and it's called that because the individual like pieces of mail look like the Chinese character for the word mountain.
Oh wow!
And I just that's the sort of thing that's just
I
like
didn't know that.
they're great little.
Oh, thank God I know that word. That's one of the simpler words.
Yeah,
I can kind of see it.
And that was certainly complex enough armor to do. So I couldn't imagine if it was anything more difficult than that.
What a brilliant detail! That's amazing.
Oh, I didn't think I could appreciate this sculpting anymore, but that's a nice detail to add on.
Yeah, and it's so that kind of stuff is just it's cool to just find those little tidbits out. And then you mentioned the armor. One of the things that I really like how it worked out on this figure too is the layer, like the multi-layering with the soft goods and the and the armor.
Oh, while you mentioned soft goods, shout outs to my friend CJ.
Yeah,
absolutely,
killing it.
He mentioned to me months ago, he's like, I'm working on something, you're really gonna like it. And then that was it. In true CJ fashion, he didn't say anything else. And then the day this released, I got a whole bunch of messages. When the day the pre-order came out, I got a whole bunch of messages, and of course, one of them was from him. He's like, this is what I want to tell you about for so long. I tried to make him feel bad.
And I think you look at those soft goods, like when you look at so much of the traditional Chinese art, that shows the character. There's such a like kind of fluidity to the line work, and there's a whimsy to it, and that's the sort of thing that's hard to accomplish in a hard plastic figure. So being able to incorporate those flowing soft goods into it, like it's as I'm seeing these wonderful photographs pop up all over the place, like there's so much drama and movement that's brought to the figure with those soft good pieces that just kind of brings that art and
hey buddy,
all that to life.
Yeah.
Hey CJ.
Hey, what's up, CJ?
Miss you, buddy. We gotta hang out soon. But yeah, I mean, like the soft goods underneath between these two layers, and then this kind of feeding through the front. This is spectacular. The around here again. I'm never taking this apart. This is insane. I would never do that. That's it. That's it. It's like I don't know, packing for a vacation. When I leave, none of the stuff goes back in the same way. So there's no way this is coming off.
So you haven't been bitten by the pop and swap bug or the customizing thing yet, man? Because like that's what people look at now with Mythic Legions. It's like where can I take that part and where else can I put it and utilize it for something else? It's part of the fun. But yes, I mean, as Curtis, one of our patrons on our channel, is always saying, like, appreciate this figure before you just open it up and start taking it apart for parts, because it's amazing. I mean, I told you, Eric, I think I texted you as soon as I got the box open. I'm like, I think this is one of the greatest things you've ever made. and I love everything you've ever made. And I never thought I would say that about a Mythic Legions figure, but like, I was like, this is going to be, I could not wait to start shooting this thing.
Yeah, it's absolutely a top contender, if not the already established figure of the year already.
Oh,
easy.
Oh, yeah, for me.
Figura of the year. You mentioned the box figure. Trevor, you mentioned the box. This is... I'm a sucker for packaging, Eric. I do a stream called Unboxing Thursdays because I have too many boxes. Not just because things that I haven't opened, but sometimes people put a lot of work into boxes to make them look a certain way. I feel like it's part of the entire experience of getting a toy and opening it. And a lot of the time, some boxes just I keep them and I don't need them. So it was like a way for me to really open everything. But looking at this box is never going anywhere. The gold foil surrounding the artwork here, and the graphics, the words up front, beautiful. This artwork right here, insane.
Yeah,
it's a billion times better than my logo. I wish I could update this. And then you got a full story on the back, well, abridged version. And the thing that caught my eye was, you have some other characters here, also from the Journey to the West story, part of the gang. At the moment I saw, I think Americanized, it's Pigsy. People commonly, I guess it's easier to pronounce the Mandarin version than having people say "Chubaje" like every day or like every time. It's like impossible. So Pigsy. Yeah, I think I'm hoping nobody knows that my pronunciation might be a little bit off. So who's gonna know?
Sounded good to me.
Hey, that Chinese guy said it's got to be right. It's like when you eat at the food court at the mall. It's like, yeah, there's Asians working there.
No, it's not like that at all.
Trevor, I love messing with you. You open this up, you have this inside. Like, look at this. This is a diorama background piece for some shots. Like, you're ready to go.
Yeah. And it was purposely made a matte finish on it for that reason,
so that you could do that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Beautiful artwork, man.
Everything about this,
genius.
Everything about this is just
even right there, even just that little, like right there, just the tree in the window framed up with the front of the frame. You know what I mean? It just looks incredible, and you don't see that until you take it out of the box. It's like, this is what I love about these things a lot too. Is that there's love put into the box too. It is really truly, like you said, Kevin, like there's a lot of beautiful artwork, but it's like sometimes the box is just like, you're gonna rip it open and tear into it whenever, and you know, I don't know. Is there a reason to keep it? But this feels like a.
No.
It's like
Well,
a.
not only this is
keepsake, you know
pretty,
what I
this is
mean?
quality materials too. Like this
Yeah,
is a
that too,
heavy
yeah.
stock
Yep.
outer
Mhm.
part. So yeah, you know, I just wanted to point this out. You know, you mentioned, do we need the full squad? Maybe not. I'm hoping it's not a one-off. Personally, you know, there's a lot of Monkey Kings out there. Well, not a lot, several, but you know, the rest of the team would be cool. Trevor, you have
There's
a
a lot.
super chat from Baku Prime. Says, great
Thank you,
show.
Baku.
Thanks, guys.
Phil, what's up, Phil? Thank you.
So, yeah, yeah, it's not necessary, but I honestly think that I think there's a lot more fans of this now because of this figure. I mean, there were people buying the what's the one that came out in the 3-pack,
Nota?
Yamato,
Nota Studios.
yeah, Nota Studios, right? Yeah, the 3-pack, which is a great looking figure. It's more of that operatic looking type Monkey King, more human looking Monkey King, and there was a lot of people who got into that, and it was a beautiful set. But I think there was a lot of people that came into it via Mythic Legions, and just because of, you know, I'm not saying just because of the pictures, but like just because it was so it was so
Here we
striking
go.
to look at.
This again, Trevor.
Well, all right, it was the pictures. Yeah. It was so striking to look.
I do have to say, I mean, the I think the pictures are some of your best work as well.
Thank you.
Like I mean, and I could tell you were enjoying it because like the
so
pictures
much
just kept coming and coming, and like there was so much variety than what you were doing, and like which.
Well, you know, like this is a production figure. So when I get the Figura Obscura figures, these are made. They're ready to go like as soon as people order them, or soon thereafter. They're ready to ship, which is beautiful. Everybody loves that. Everybody loves to buy a figure.
Love that.
They're going to get it in like a month or a week or a day or whatever. I love it because I can move them without them falling apart in my hands. This is like amazing. Like, and it was so much fun because it's beautiful. B, it's a production figure, and yeah, I didn't want to stop. I could have kept going. It was great.
They're like, send me 4 selects.
I love
and
it.
I don't. If I break it, it's mine. Like I've broken it. So what? Well, I broke it.
Sorry, Eric, you were saying?
I just said I love it because we get photographs like that when he gets. When he gets a fully posable, playable figure, it's there's times that like I wish we could. Well, we could do it with all of them. Hopefully, maybe one of these days we can get to that point where the schedule works that way. But it's certainly there's a dynamic that Trevor can get out of the shots. With a figure that he can contort and bend the arms and legs rather than, like you said, I mean, the prototypes, it's this kind of struggle because on the one hand, we could make them sturdy by gluing them all together, but then we could only have pictures of them standing there with the arms on their sides.
Exactly.
So it's like trying to, get the prototypes to the right point where they're, they're posable, but at least hold together long enough to get the shot.
Right. Yeah, he was inspiring, man. Just like everything, like I was just like, I got another shot in mind. I mean, it's the kind of thing where it's like I wanted to put him on a horse, but like you got to do the horse not included, like figure sold separately type of thing. So, I've learned to stay away from that kind of stuff.
No, Detour.
What's up, Steph?
Hey, what's up, Steph? What's going on?
Yeah, and I was gonna say when Trevor does get these figures like that and can make pictures like that, I appreciate the hell out of them, but at the same time, I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't think I want to shoot it now because I'm never going to come close.
I feel the same way when I see people come out with stuff they've gotten early or whatever. But there's always stuff, man. And then people came out with some great photos. You did, and a lot of people shot some incredible stuff. It's a very inspiring figure.
It's a very photogenic figure.
Yeah,
very photogenic figure. Yeah, for sure.
Not to knock on all of your skills, but yes, it's a very, very pretty figure.
It's just like so easy. It practically photographs itself. It's
right.
The sculpting and like the colors, just the palette just mixes together well. It's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Also, it's weird because this figure came in a time where, like, a few years ago, I was like, I'd have to find a third-party Monkey King figure from Asia and not know anything about the company.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if those figures were good, so I'd hold off. And then, next thing you know, there's Noda, and then next thing you know, this comes out on pre-order, and then there's a new Monkey King show on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
a
was just
flood of Monkey King.
yeah, I was having so much fun, and
Yeah.
I was like, guys, you should have you seen that show, Eric? The
Is that American Born Chinese?
yeah,
We're
Yeah.
about halfway through it right now, so it's actually been
on my
fun
list
to
too.
watch with my kids because they know they know some about the characters, but it's we got to the one episode that was completely in heaven. And
oh my god, it's so
like,
cool.
it was just so fun to watch because the characters and they're kind of doing their own spin on it, and like kind of like almost that one episode was edited like a, I don't know, like a 70s like cop show or something with like some of the quick cut edits
gotta watch
and things
that.
like
Yeah,
that. So like
me too.
the juxtaposition was really wild on it. But yeah, that's been a fun show so far. Like I said, I think we're like 5 or 6 episodes in. So, but yeah, it's been great to watch.
Have to check it out.
Yeah,
Yeah, I put it on my
If-
list as soon as I saw you post it, Kev. I gotta see it.
put on my list as soon as you posted it. Then haven't didn't touch.
Dude,
Yeah,
my
I think
list is long.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of.
And
It's
It's hard to watch all that stuff when we have these shows on Monday nights, Kevin.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
oh, is that what?
Monday.
Is that what happens on Mondays? That's when I watch all my shows.
You're a douchebag.
Yeah, it's a great time to be a fan of the Monkey King. It's cool to see the love that it's getting. Eric,
Sure.
Yeah.
the Figura line, a lot of characters, or sorry, the Krampus had a color variant for retailers. Is that something that's going to happen with every figure in this line? Can I expect to have a color variant for Wukong for retailers? Because if there is, I would, or if it's too early or you don't know yet, just give the signal or leave like I had planned, if when you're done with the show. But I personally would buy another color variant for sure, just because I absolutely love this thing.
I mean, I would say more than likely, yes. The retailer appreciation wave was, it was a success, and I think worked out well for everybody because for retailers, they got to get in on Figura. I think for a lot of anybody who came in after the fact, they got a second shot at those characters. They're trying to find like the right balance to where if you already have it, you may still want the second one because it's different enough.
Mhm.
But it's close enough where if you didn't get the first one, you don't feel like you're missing out.
Mhm.
So it worked well. So I would imagine that you'll probably see another version of this.
I'll make space. I'll make space for another one. I have
It's gonna
I'm
be
gonna make a
awesome.
whole shelf of Monkey King characters.
Nice.
So the line, I don't want to. I never try to ask people like what's coming down the pipe because obviously everyone's got their stuff that they have to play. It's just I just hope this line keeps going, not just Monkey King stuff or Journey to the West stuff, but Figura. I can't imagine it's stopping when it, like you said in the beginning, it's your creativity and the need to make your own stuff, right? Make your own original stuff. That kind of
By all
drove
accounts, has
the
been
beginning.
very successful too, right? Like it's
Yeah.
done very well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it
it's-
also brings people into, I'm sure, have discovered both mythic and cosmic through Figura
I
Obscura.
know a lot of people who've said that. Yeah, we've seen a lot
Yes.
of people, especially Headless Horseman was one of those entry figures for sure.
Mhm.
And I think this one is becoming that too because I think it appeals to a lot of
Yeah.
people that
Yeah, I mean that's
fantasy, but now like, oh, you got cosmic. That's kind of cool.
Mhm.
it's a great point because that is it's not the purpose of the line, but it's certainly
Right.
been one of the great side effects of it is that it is bringing in people who aren't familiar with the company or for with mythic or cosmic or what have you. because it's, you know, they're more, you know, generally accessible subject matter, or, you know, wider audience. And so, yeah, I mean, that's a nice side effect. I mean, you know, we can kind of keep track of, you know, how many first time customers, you know, come in on these waves.
Oh, that's cool.
Or these releases. And, you know, it's encouraging to see, because, you know, that's just the type of reaction we get. Like when we go to a show like we hadn't been to before, like in a new town or something like that. And, you know, there's every time there's somebody who hasn't seen, you know, it's always been Mythic up to this point, but hasn't seen Mythic before. And, you know, you get the question, like, why don't I know about this? Like, you know, where has this been?
It's amazing.
And so, I mean, it just goes to show that there's, you know, there's a lot of people out there that we haven't reached yet. And so if this, you know, helps kind of bring people to this little world of figures, then, you know, it's great, because, you know, the more successful these figures are, the, you know, the more we can make and the more we can put into them. And, you know, hopefully the longer we can just keep going and going and, you know, making something special.
Nice.
Awesome.
We're Eric, I don't know if you know off the top of your head, but do Mythic, Legions, and Cosmic, is there a huge demand for it in Asia? And since the release of Wukong, have you seen, like you mentioned, you could see new customers, things like that. Have you seen like an influx of orders or just interest from overseas, from that part of the world?
We do have a good customer base over there. It seems like this stuff seems to play well in the Asian markets. You know, with this, because it's, you know, the Figura Obscura is such a limited release. Like, I don't know what the percentages were that came in, but it's, you know, it's kind of a one-shot deal as far as the as the purchase goes. I think when we'll really get a feel for it is, you know, if we do a retailer, you know, exclusive version of it in the future, that's probably where we'll be able to determine, like, if there's been an influx or not. You know, I would hope that you know, I would hope that it would, you know, it would be well received, you know, to the, you know, where the story was created. You know, that's kind of, you know, because that's a big thing with all of these subject matters, because, you know, these are loved characters. You know, they're somebody else's creation. So, you know, we want to address all of these, you know, the utmost respect. And, you know, that's, you know, so much exhaustive research goes into these, you know, to make sure that, you know, if somebody's been a fan of one of these characters their entire life, or they're, you know, they're deep into the subject matter, or you know, they've, you know, read the book, or, you know, they go to Krampus festivals every year, whatever, you know, that we're getting, you know, all of those facts correctly.
Yeah, you're doing them justice.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure.
I mean, just talking
that's
to
an
you,
interesting
I appreciate
thought, though. It's an interesting thought that might be like, I don't know if like Father Christmas was more popular in, you know, I guess percentage wise in Europe, or Krampus was more, because I mean Krampus just looks cool. Like, you don't even have to know who Krampus is. And,
yeah,
I want that figure. That's interesting though. Yeah, that would be interesting. It'll be interesting to see with the retail wave if that happens with Wukong. That's cool.
I was gonna say, it's good to hear, like, you know, you talking about the research you put into the figure in order to add the accessories and the details, and down to the type of chainmail on the armor. It's I think people definitely it's like when I talk to my friend Kyle at Super 7, he's like, "Oh, when we were doing the Power Rangers Ultimates, I watched every episode of Power Rangers just to study all the costumes and the details and the Zords and things like that, and going through references from Japan." I'm like, "That's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool." The same way, they're doing a Simpsons line, and I think about someone just watching Simpsons
Right.
select episodes. Like, that's the life. Like, that's
What a
cool.
tough gig. Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
That's got to be kind of fun too. Sorry, Eric, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that, I remember getting into this mindset back when we were especially working on Masters Universe and then really getting into DC. And, early on in DC, we were doing characters like Killer Moth. And, I personally was really into the Jack Kirby, the Fourth World stuff. And so which some of those characters were obscure, but we had all the A-listers in there, but that again, Mattel was great about letting us put in these obscure characters into the line. And I just remember it kind of struck me, every one of those characters that we do in that line, there's somebody's favorite character. I remember we knew somebody that Killer Moth was their all-time favorite character. And I think at that point, I don't think it had ever been done before. And that kind of just set the tone for, every time you do one of these figures, it's somebody's been waiting for this character or that's what they're most excited about. And you want to do that justice, even though it may be a character that you weren't aware of before you started working on it, or it's not necessarily your cup of tea. You want to do right by that person who's going to walk into a store, get online and make that purchase, and hopefully make their day.
Yeah. And you guys are no strangers to doing other people's work and having to do stuff like that still. But because Mythic Legions and now Cosmic Legions are such a big part of what you do and you're involved with, it's got to be kind of fun, I was going to say, to have to go in and do some research. Because you can, you got to research things like skull shapes and things for the, the Necronominus wave and stuff. But for the most part, you can go a little crazy with armor. I know armor, and you look into... you research some inspiration, but then you can kind of go crazy. But to have to go into something and really research it's got to be kind of fun to really get some details and figure out exactly what needs to be done to, like you said, somebody who's really into the lore is going to look at that and go, oh, they got that right. That's great. It's got to be
sure.
fun.
Yeah, I mean it's cool to be 50 years old and to still learn something.
Yeah,
right? It's
never stop being a student.
Yeah,
sure.
That's right.
Yeah, and
I can't wait to stop learning at 50.
If you get lazy, it's easy. So it's but especially when it's about something that you're excited about, and
right.
It's things that you love. Then it really just it's very fulfilling.
And I love the fact too that yeah. I was just going to say that this figure's been out for so long, and like you said, so much has been written on them about the figure on the box and this what's up on the website and stuff that Jeremy helps put together. But the fact that just tonight we learned about this mountain male, and it's based on, that's incredible. I love that. That was sort of almost saved as a little Easter egg in a way, And if you know it, great. If you don't, you learn about it or you discover it later. It just keeps the appreciation going.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Trevor, we kind of went back to reference. Do you still have that tab up?
Oh, no, but I can jump it up right now. Hang on a second.
Eric, of the faceplates.
I think this is what you were talking about, Eric, in terms of the Dark Horse inspiration.
Of the faceplates, which which one do you display?
Wow.
Yeah, that's the Tirada. Yeah, it is super cool.
That's amazing.
It's cool. It's wilder. It's definitely a wilder take on Monkey King than I've seen really anywhere else. But there's his gourd right there. You got your gourd.
Yeah.
You got your staff. You got your basic. There's always some basic stuff: the necklace, the beads, the crown,
Staff.
the staff, the flowing like robe, or at least that little tabard or whatever that goes through. Yeah. I mean, I love that there's also all different takes on it. I happen to really love this take. I mean, again, I love the Yamato, the Noda one too, and I like those looks. But I just like, to me, like, it's a Monkey King, and the story is he's a monkey that was born from a rock or a stone or something like that, and it's just he's a monkey, man, and that's.
And to answer Kevin's question, that faceplate there has ended up being my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I usually am not. I don't like the open mouth face on figures. Like, I'm very much
right.
I want
If it
more
only
open-
comes, if it only comes with that.
for photography, it's great because you're capturing a single moment. But for like, I don't like having generally a screaming figure on the shelf.
If you have multiple faces, then you wouldn't have it
Then it works
static
out,
on that. But for photography, like the expressiveness for these, you know, they're clutch.
In this particular case, though, I like the screaming mouth, and I like the two with the opera makeup on. More like it's just got a cool. It's got a graphic quality to it.
Yeah, I think that's it.
You can't, you can't beat the classic simple kind of crown here too.
Yep.
Yeah.
But then the other one, it's more regal, I think, to go with the whole armor set.
Yeah, I like the
two
feathers.
long feathers on it too.
Yeah,
that's very
that was one of the things. Too. Like, once it's like we started, doing like the loadout for accessories and everything, like I wanted like to be able to hit as many like time periods within the story and sections of the story as possible. So like I like the phoenix feather cap, but the crown is more, I think, iconic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't, why make a decision? Just
little
put them both in there.
Well, with that being said,
Swings.
Did anything not make the cut?
That's a good question. The one thing that I could not, I've just always thought was such a cool element to his costuming. And again, like, he's wearing different things at different parts of the story, which I think is cool as well, because like I like that like so many elements of his costume have a purpose behind it. Like the staff, starts off as a pillar in the palace, and then it can change at will to size and all that. But that's it's not like he just shows up in the story with that staff. There's the story about how he gets the staff, and then how he gets the mail. And so along those lines, the one thing that I just always thought was so cool is the tiger skin kilt. And I could not, like, there was no way like easily, and like without it just being cumbersome on the figure, that like I could get both looks to work without just like almost like a full costume change on the figure. So that was the one thing that I thought would have been very cool that I couldn't get in. So that was like the one like kind of cutting room floor.
Perhaps that's something that
third-party clothing makers everywhere are like,
or does that show up in the retail version? Perhaps,
maybe. Hey, shout out to Jurassic Jesser. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
$2 super chat from Jesser. Any progress on the dragon, Eric? Keep killing it. It's got to come up every time. Progress.
If not physically, mentally, there's progress.
It's taking up a lot of space.
I can't give a concrete answer on that.
Of course not.
We have to drag that out for decades to come.
Of course. That is that is the carrot. That is the Mythic Legion's carrot for sure.
Yep. Milk it.
Kirby Smith says that is the handsomest monkey ever made. You know what, everyone? Buy multiples. I think he can do like clones. I remember as a kid seeing like a cartoon version, like pull out some fur and blow it, and it turns
Yeah.
into like clones of himself. So
Yeah.
buy multiples, buy
Absolutely.
variants, retailer variants when it comes out.
Mhm.
When you add clones into the mix, it works for the toy maker Star Wars. So
Right.
just keep that in mind. Star
If
Wars.
you're going to have an authentic
Worshippers.
Monkey King, you must have multiples because it's
Yes,
the power.
yes.
It's one of the
And
powers.
with different face display options,
Yeah.
you can actually make a kind of dynamic looking display with multiples that not everyone looks exactly the same.
Right.
Yep.
That's right.
Not to mention the pop and swap. Go crazy.
Yep, for sure. Definitely.
I asked Detour today. I'm like, so what do you got cooking for the Monkey King? He's got a lot of cool stuff. So
Awesome.
I
Nice.
can't wait to see some stuff that's going to come out for that. I mean, we've seen a few things. We've seen a few like alternate heads and stuff like that for people to use and stuff. But just
Yeah.
what people do with the armor. We've seen some pop and swap, but some custom work is going to be amazing.
didn't
Yeah.
Dorklair do a lot of swaps on his
Oh, yeah.
early photos?
Yep.
Yep.
Um,
Yep. He's the swapping king. For sure. He is.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. Like, I think we'll probably see a little bit of it starting at PowerCon, but then definitely by the time we hit Legions Con,
Yeah.
like all of a sudden, we're going to be, several Figura Obscura figures in, and then now Cosmic's going to be out. So like the customs and the third party parts and just the entire world of customizing and fan created pieces is going to be just I think it's going to be mind boggling this year.
For sure.
Yeah. It's going to be amazing.
Was it Krampus or one of the other ones that had? No, it was Father Christmas that had like T-shirts, and was there like accompanying merch, or am I thinking of a different release? Of
all
it?
of
them.
Yeah.
Did the Monkey King have a deluxe pack?
Yes.
Not with a shirt though. You got this
And a pin.
cool little mug.
That's
and
right.
Pins. I thought I had the pins in front of me. I don't have them. The pins were beautiful.
Krampus has had T-shirts and the holiday sweater. And that comes
Retro
from,
rags.
Retro Rags.
Retro rags. You can get a Monkey King shirt. It did not come in. It's a separate company, and they're making.
Oh, okay.
Licensing
I think
it.
I remember
you
that
can
now.
go and buy it from Retro Rags.
Yeah, so there, I'm not sure the shirt might still be up. I'm not
I think it
sure.
is. I think I looked it up.
Yeah, there's actually 2 shirts for Monkey King.
Mm-hmm. They're really sweet.
I think
Yeah,
I remember
the
now.
piece of the art of the face on the side of the package, that was one, and then the other shirt is the art from the front with the full body shot on it.
I don't know. I was looking for the pins. I can't find them.
All right, I'm going to. Oh, box art and Monkey King logo. Nathan Barch.
Barch.
Nate Barch.
Barch. That's yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
Nate is a legend. Amazing.
Could have sworn.
He's kind of a prima donna, but he's really good at what he does.
Yeah, he's got a big ego and he's kind of a jerk sometimes, but he's fabulously talented. Yeah, he's like
Very
the nicest
cool.
guy you'll ever meet.
Yeah, 100%. But
Uh,
yeah, the 2 Monkey King tees are the first things you see when you pull up Retro Rags.
retro rags. All right, I think I remember being. I had just made some purchases when this came out. And I was like, I can only grab one. And
Oh, you gotta get one of those, man.
I should mention I do appreciate the multiple drops, for the pre-orders. Was it like one in the morning
and
one in the
evening?
night?
Yeah.
That's huge. That's huge.
Yeah, how did whose idea was that? Just a kind of a thing that came out of a discussion.
I would guess probably either Chris or Jeremy. I don't. Could be CB. I'm not.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't me.
Yeah.
But
I know. I know when Chris told me the first time with Krampus, I'm like, you're just gonna put this out and not tell anybody it's coming. You're not gonna give anybody any clue. It's just gonna 9 o'clock in the morning. It's gonna go up. I'm like, you guys, that's crazy, man. He's like, I'll be another one. I'm like, oh, all right, that kind of works. That's kind of cool. It's like
There we go.
guerrilla advertising right there. No pun intended.
Keep everyone on their
Yeah.
toes. Okay, there's 4 colors.
What are you gonna get? Orange, Kev? I think the blue would be nice.
I don't know. Orange doesn't work for my
See,
complexion.
I like. Oh yeah, I know. Me neither. That's nice. I like
Yeah,
that.
I like
one. I might get that one.
It's
It's-
something
it's-
about this is perfect.
Head just
This,
looks really.
this
good,
is
though.
perfect. This would be
Yeah.
a great sticker
Yeah, or a pin.
or a patch on a baseball cap.
Or that.
I'll
Yeah.
probably buy the head.
Retro
the head
Eggs, they
logo.
make caps too.
Are they doing hats with these, like Monkey King, or the
I don't know if they've done because the hats. The way they do the hats is it's the patch
embroidered, right?
and they just
Oh, that's right.
They just
Yeah,
attach
like
it
the
like
faction
a-
logos, and so
That's
I,
right. That's
yeah,
right.
I could see this
yeah.
being done.
It's doable. Boy called Malice says, "Let's reel Kevin in."
Dude,
Trevor,
I've been
how do you
trying,
feel-
man. I've been
how do you
trying
feel
for
about
how
that?
many years? Yeah, like how many? 2 years. I've sent him figures. And, you know, he
Gotta
puts
come
him
to
on a
Legion.
horse, and he's
Legion's
like,
kinda,
"Yeah, this is
man.
really cool." That's not for me. No, I know it's a space thing, and it's also like I know you like you want to have a team. You know what I mean? I don't know. Are you a completist with things?
No, I'm
Or-
not.
I don't think.
But
you
I will
are.
be
No, okay.
if and when this happens, Eric. Sorry, I had
For
to
the
twitch
monkey,
there. I don't know
for
what happened.
Journey to the
Just-
West.
That was weird. Just never happened before. Yeah, no, Trevor. How do you feel from you've been trying to enable me for a few years, and now I'm doing a
I
Four
know
Horsemen.
a show on my night of my show.
I had to go, you know, all
promote and present and discuss and talk about.
I had to go full
Legion's
ass, right? I
adjacent
couldn't
figures.
just do half one cheek. I'm
It's
like,
true.
what,
That's true.
what's
Oh,
the
you
next
want me in? Okay, I'm going to come in and I'm going to take over your show.
and read your super chats like they're mine. Someone mentioned
It's all right.
Eric.
It's so worth it.
They asked you earlier, what's
split
your
it.
favorite part of Legion's Con?
Oh man.
I mean, you know, I mean, it's you know, I love seeing all of the, you know, all the artists come in and all the work and the, you know, their take on you know what we've created, and like, you know, I like seeing the, you know, it's we put it out there and then it, you know, takes on a life of its own through everybody who brings something else to the line, and that's a huge part of it. But I mean, it's ultimately just the people, like, you know,
Yeah.
just seeing, you know, I know Jeremy always says it's like part toy show, part family reunion, and it, I mean, it does feel that way. It's so much fun just chatting with people. You know, I was both nights I was there. I was up until the middle of the morning. I think Saturday night I might have been one of the last 2 people going up the elevator at like 4 or 5 in the morning. Like
It was all that candy that we were passing out. Last week.
that's right. But that's, I mean, that really, it's just like the sense of community that
Yeah.
has happened with Legions is just, I mean, it's just like there's just a satisfaction to the fact that that's come out of all of this, and then, you know, to be part of it and to you know, to join in, it's just amazing. It's really amazing.
It's like family. Really, it's family. It's family.
All right.
No, it really is. Everybody's like, it's such a cool place, and I know a lot more people coming this year that have been collecting Legions, but wouldn't, you know, didn't make the trek across, and it's just growing. They've just heard all the good things that are happening, and that kind of camaraderie, and just the amazing stuff that people are making and seeing it, and they're coming now. So it's going to be obviously it's already even bigger than it was last year, and it's just, I think it's just going to really solidify a lot of people into the community. It's
When
a great
is this
community.
happening?
That is November 8th.
4th, 5th,
this
6th,
up.
7th, something
It's
around
way
there.
later
something.
than that this year because
Oh,
It is. It's like the
November 11.
11th.
I want to say
think.
11th. That sounds
It's the
right.
11th. That's 10th, 11th, and 12th. They're 11th and 12th. 10th is going to be
11th.
in turn for.
Or yeah, 11th and 12th. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I tell you something that is really because like what I'm loving now is that, you know, we're doing more shows now than we ever have, and they're not all necessarily huge shows. We do, you know, a lot of local shows, and
Right.
you know, the big shows that just don't serve us as well. And last year at PowerCon, which we've been doing PowerCon since the first year, and it's always been one of our favorite shows, and like really one of our anchor shows. And last year it moved to Columbus, Ohio, and it went from being a Masters Universe show to being a more of a general toy show, and everything about it was just phenomenal, like just next level for that show. And one of the best parts for us was so much of the Legion's community was there that it's almost like the
pre-show. It's pre-show for Legion's Con.
It's like the traveling family now at this point. And it's great, like just walking in and seeing everybody, like as I'm going into the show in the morning, and then
I can't wait.
Out at night, like you're walking past a restaurant, and you see a whole table full of people that and then they come out in the street and everybody's hanging out, just chatting and stuff. And I don't know, it's just like there's an energy to all of that Legion's Con is like the mecca for all of that. But it's nice that there's these spots throughout the year where it's even extended out, where you just get to catch up more than once a year now.
That's the thing. If you've ever gotten a taste of it at Legion's Con and how sweet it was, the fact that there's a few more sprinkled in throughout the rest of the year to get that fix in is amazing. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, sure.
Matthew Toy said, I just realized that I've been watching on Kevin's channel this whole time. I thought this was Trevor's show. You know what, Matthew, tonight I'm siphoning the views from Trevor's stream. Just like you were doing the
maybe biggest show ever. And thanks, Kevin.
No, I'm only a fraction of that. Who's
Kevin
Curtis?
is the new
Kevin
Curtis.
is the new Curtis.
So Curtis is a prominent member of the community who seems to, I don't know, take over other people's shows on a regular basis. He's a super nice guy, but then he'll like co-host something, and then it'll be his show.
Oh,
that.
Sounds like my kind of guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Greg says, "Are we getting some Canadians at Legion Con
Hell yeah!
this year?"
I know Canadians coming. The
come.
Knights of the North, they're coming down, man.
Oh,
a bunch of them are.
Nice.
So.
Sounds like a gang.
Yep.
You and CJ got
I know,
to make
right?
it, Kevin.
From the time frame that you mentioned, I'm away. I'm on vacation that time. I will be in Japan and Hong Kong.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Very nice. That's cool.
I'll be buying some toys there. So, we'll all be shopping for toys. That's where I base all my vacations. Like when I go to New Jersey,
bring a
bring
couple
some
Mythic
units of
Legions with you.
and just walk
Pass
into
them
town.
out.
It's like, hey, have you seen
Pass
these
them out.
before? These are, and then I'll tell them how much
Trade?
research was put into Monkey
Trade?
King.
One's free.
And,
Yeah, bring some Monkey
2023.
Kings. Oh my god, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
when trade first went to Asia, I brought action figures.
There you go.
So when weighing out vacation, you're sort of like New Jersey, Japan.
I have family.
I can't blame
I have
you.
family
I can't
in
blame
New
you.
Jersey, and usually when I drive, it's like,
well, there you
how
go.
many Walgreens and Targets do I drive past? Like, what's near the hotel, so that I can go toy hunting once the kids go to sleep.
Some good toy stores.
Japan is Japan, so I want to make it down because it looks like the
One of these years.
camaraderie. Yeah, with like
Gotta
either
do
the Wayne toy show that Matthew's always doing. New Jersey Toy Con, is that a thing? I'm just throwing words together. Legion's Con, I feel like, as somebody from the outside watching, it seems like it's gotten bigger.
Oh yeah.
The last few years, I see people clamoring last year, like, did you pre-order tickets for next year and get your tickets? So it'd be cool. I don't want to seem like a poser because it's like I have three figures from here.
Again,
But,
when
you
it's
know, to
mostly
meet the
about the
people,
people,
It's
you
like
know.
half art show. Like you just go there and you just look at the stuff, the customs, even if you're not standing in line for these guys' stuff, which is like a huge draw, obviously. But then the customs, it's like an art show. You just walk around, even if you're not going to buy. It's like, oh my god, I can't believe you thought of that. That's so
Yeah.
cool. You know, the Pink Panther from one of these things, or you know, the Turtles, or
Yeah.
the Avengers, or just something completely original. It's just really, really cool. It is like a little bit of an art show with toys, which isn't something you see all that often in any con, really. You know, people are selling stock figures or whatever, but to see the customs, I mean, it's kind of stuff more you see online on like Instagram. See them live, it's just really cool. And talk to the people who do them, it's amazing. Yeah, it's fun for that reason.
Yep.
Whether you're buying or not. Joe Gonsalves, thank you, man. Any chance old 4-H lines must be revisited with new sculpts and more modern production quality? 4-H lines, like Seventh Kingdom we're talking about? Or what do you think, Eric? Bringing it back? Retro line?
I mean, I would never
Call that.
say never, you know, if we got to that point. It's, I mean, we're so wrapped up in what we're doing now. It, you know, it would, I think, might feel like going backwards.
Okay, I got a name though. Figura Returna. How about that? Coming back around.
It's
something
you're
like that.
basically
We'll
doing
work on
what
it.
I
We'll
do with.
workshop it. We'll workshop it. We'll work.
You're basically doing what I do with Spanish, where I just take English words and add an O at the end.
That's true.
That's not how this works. But I think, you know, I think that's all. I kind of asked all the questions that I wanted to know about this. You know, I learned a lot about, man, Eric, yourself, your history. You know, the work that goes into this figure. I mean, I love it so much, and I think it shows because, you know, the work that you put into it, it shows, and it just really kind of hit me right in the sweet spot for this Monkey King, and I think for a lot of people too. You know, even just Trevor and Nate talking about being inspired, taking the photos, putting it in front of the camera. It's super cool. I wanted to thank you for coming on to my show. No, coming on to this co-stream with the Legion's Lounge.
How do you feel about pizza crust, Eric? Are you good with pizza crust? Do you like?
I like pizza crust.
There you go.
I like the entire pizza.
My final question.
I was gonna say, Trevor and Nate, do you have any more questions? And Trevor was in on that
I
gem.
can't top that one. Yeah, we ask the important shit on Legion's Lounge. Like
That's right. That's right.
The chat. Rick Jones says, Eric, you're a legend. Love your toys so much. I think that's the perfect thing to end it on.
Yeah, this was great.
Eric,
this was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
fellas, thank you
thanks
so
for having
much.
me.
Yep.
Eric,
Always a
anything
pleasure,
you want to
Eric.
shout out to the people? You know, something that they should subscribe. You know, follow the Four Horsemen account on socials, obviously. You know, anything else you want to shout out there for the people?
Yeah, just, you know, I think thanks for coming by here tonight. Thanks to you guys for having me on, and you know, I can never emphasize it enough. You know, thank you to everybody for the support and for the enthusiasm. You know, for all the love. Like this, you know, for us, it's a dream come true to be able to you know, working on a line like, you know, this close to home for us. And you know, it's you know, like I said, with like the Legions Con and doing these shows, like just, you know, being able to be part of such an amazing community of people, and you know, with, you know, these you know, like-minded interests and stuff, like it's you know, it's awesome. So, you know, just thank you. I mean, you know, your support is what allows us to keep going with this, and you know, we're eternally grateful.
That's
Awesome.
so cool. It's cool to see people passionate about making toys, and thank you so much for having this chat with us. Nate and Trevor, your show.
Yes, sir.
your shows? You want to tell people again, real quick, your own viewers?
Yeah, normally Monday at 9:00, unless something happens, like whatever. I don't know what could happen, but yeah, normally every other Monday at 9:00. Legion's Lounge. We talk about this stuff. We had Eric. Eric was our first guest on the YouTube show. We got to get Jim on, because Jim's the only Four Horsemen that we haven't had on. I got to get Jim. I love Jim. But yeah, we're going to be doing a Road to Legions Con pretty damn soon, because we only do 2 shows a month, and it's coming up quick, and there's a lot of people we got to talk to. So stay tuned for that. So yeah,
nice.
That's it.
Nate,
but thanks, man. This was great. This worked out perfectly.
Yep.
Just like I planned it. Nate, what about yourself?
Yeah, just mostly on IG under Corona4, and I posted in the
Amazing
Cabal
pictures.
as well. So
Mm-hmm.
yep, thank you.
Very cool. For people who just found my channel today, thank you so much. I do live stream every Thursday. I'll be in San Diego Comic-Con next week doing some live streams, recording some videos, I guess, for the vlog, and meeting a lot of toy collectors out there. So if you're out there, we have a chance to meet up. That'd be cool. I'm gonna make a post on Instagram. You can message me there. Until then, what's your typical outro, Trevor? You use yours.
What is our typical outro? I don't know. We're just like,
Cheers.
Take care. Cheers. We'll see you next time. That's about it. Yeah. I don't know. We got to come up with a cool one. We don't have,
Yeah, we gotta
have a
work on
cool
that.
one for this.
We'll
I have
work
made the
on that
foam
too.
be with you for the 1/6 pack, but I don't really have anything for this. We got to work on that.
Well, guys, thank you so much for being here. Everyone, have a great night and keep toying around. Peace.
Later.
Okay, guys.
Usually on this part, I just sing, and I know Trevor.
Oh,
just
do the
went-
monkey song. Do the.
Oh.
Planet
I
of the Apes.
hate every ape I see, from chimpanzee to chimpanzee.
Chimpanzee.